It's Thursday, March the 15th, and this is your Barbados Today afternoon news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Historian Trevor Marshall is standing his ground that the Nelson statue is a disgrace. While delivering a lecture last evening on cadetting and its impact on Barbadian society at the Barbados Workers' Union to mark Cadet Week, Marshall heaped praises on the work of the cadets. Marshall said he was a proud cadet in the 1940s. And looking back, he said the only downfall was saluting to Nelson.
Documents have shown that Nelson was the worst British sailor, naval person ever to come to the Caribbean. He caused the death of 50,000 black people as slaves. It is he who forced the British to send Captain William Bligh to Tahiti to bring the breadfruit. Because, as Hilary Beckles has pointed out, stopping the ships from America trading with the Caribbean, black people had to eat dirt. And we're the only people who put up a statue to him. And every time the soldiers came up, eyes left, salute that man. Imagine you had to salute a mass murderer. And no Jews ever saluted Hitler. That is one of the disadvantages of being a cadet, that you had to salute that man who killed Barbadian people, who's culpable in the death of so many people.
Labour Minister Dr. Esther Byer Suckoo is urging the island's employers to step up their game. Speaking at a labour relations seminar which opened this morning at the Warrens Complex, she said recent changes to the Employment Rights Act can only deliver intended improvements to the work environment if employers implement the changes. She stressed the need for more cooperation and consensus building in the work environment if Barbados is to achieve international work standards.
It is recognized that changing legislation alone will not be the silver bullet in addressing issues in the workplace. We have certainly realized that with all of this new legislation, things don't automatically change for the better. There is the legislation, but we still have to go in and make sure that folks are sensitized and that they're applying the legislation correctly. This means that partnerships, cooperation, and of course dialogue are critical to the process. Workplaces must also be committed to self-regulation. It is through these principles of social dialogue and consensus building that the decent work agenda, as promoted by the International Labour Organization and fully endorsed and advanced by Barbados, will be realized.
In other news now, the sewage woes on the south coast have not only taken a toll on businesses and residents in the area, it's a major headache for workers at the Barbados Water Authority. So says the BWA's General Manager Keith Roy Halliday, who told the quarterly meeting of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association that employees have been working 24 hours since October to relieve those affected. He said the workers have been suffering psychologically and the authority has been working with the Ministry of Health to assist the staff.
They themselves are human, and sometimes they may not necessarily respond in the best way because they're tired and they are also frustrated. They're also very embarrassed by this entire episode, and we've had to actually look at counseling because we need them to understand that this is not necessarily their fault, and that we will continue to do what we call a national duty to get to the bottom of this. But I can tell you, when I had a quick retreat recently to sort of pull some of the senior guys together, that they too, they're very, very pained to tears, where, you know, it is very difficult sometimes for them to walk the streets with the brand being exposed. And the last thing we told them recently in the last session we had is, don't hide it, defend it.
In sports now, it's day one of BSSAC 2018, and it's expected to be an action-packed day at the National Stadium as athletes from the island's secondary schools battle it out. Leading off the day's event was the girls' 3,000-meter open event. We pick up the race dominated by Mary Fraser of the Darrell Jordan Secondary School in the final lap.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. Celebrations are continuing across Grenada as Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell prepares to take the oath of office for the third time. Last night, the victorious New National Party held a thank you rally, and Dr. Mitchell told the jubilant crowd he was humbled by the historic win.
You have given me a trust that no other man has ever been given. No parts of the Caribbean and no parts of the world. 3 times all the seats in Parliament. And I ask the Almighty God, as I did tonight, and I will do again, to give me that strength, that guidance, that wisdom, and that spiritual foundation to do the things to make you proud of me. I want you all to pray for this humble servant. Sisters and brothers. Sisters and brothers, I say this because without you, I am nobody at all.
And on the international scene, the U.S. has imposed sanctions on 19 Russians, accusing them of interference in the 2016 U.S. election and alleged cyber attacks. They include 13 individuals charged last month by Justice Department Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin accused the Russians of destructive cyber attacks and intrusions targeting critical infrastructure. He said the sanctions would target ongoing nefarious attacks by Russia. 5 groups, including Moscow's intelligence services, are included in Thursday's measures. The sanctions are being described in Washington as the strongest action taken by the Trump administration thus far against Moscow. And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.